I wouldn't call it common, but in recent years, Disney's been adding more and more extremely limited time special events at the place where dreams come true. And the more and more they add, the more I ask myself, do we have enough now or do we need even more? There are plenty of examples of extremely limited time engagements at Walt Disney World. You have special PhotoPass days and events, special foods, dance parties, 4th of July backyard barbecue with Woody and the gang, that's relatively new, and a brand new, I'm going to call it Tomb Sweet Tomb photo opportunity in front of the Haunted Mansion on April 13th, 2019. The Haunted Mansion photo event is just one day, and if you're like me, you really wish that your trip coincided with a special event like that one, and you see so many happening throughout the year, but your trip does not coincide with these special events and you miss them. Knowing how few guests can participate in these one day or 1 week or very limited time engagements at Walt Disney World, the question comes up, why does Disney do them? I believe there are 3 reasons. First, for Florida residents who have been to the parks many times, it's something new for them to experience. Second, this is a great opportunity for Disney to test something that they may want to expand upon in the future. And third, it can provide a special experience for guests who don't mind paying a little bit more and who want to experience that special event with lower crowds. Disney has seen an enormous influx in the crowds at Walt Disney World in recent years. It's thanks to many things like a growing economy and expansions to the parks and so on, but there's another side of the coin that Disney now has to deal with: more crowds throughout the year all over, from the longer waits at the rides all the way to more sold out rooms at the resorts. I can distinctly remember the good old days. One memory in particular, I was with my family, we were about to go into Hollywood Studios, we were there about half an hour early, and they opened the park about 20-25 minutes early just because they were all ready to go. They let us have more magical moments in the park. That kind of thing does not happen that much anymore. Another example that I remember, I was at Walt Disney World with my family. It was mid-September. We were walking down Main Street, USA, 4 in the afternoon. There was basically no one around, and the same rules apply for Super Bowl Sunday and several other holidays. It used to be very low crowds on these specific days, not anymore. Disney has found several ways to solve this problem for guests who do not want to stand in wall-to-wall people, and they can make more money at the same time. Special events is Disney's answer to the problem of extra crowds at Walt Disney World, and many of these events cost over $100 per person. Let's take the newly announced Woody's Roundup Barbecue Buffet at Disney's Contemporary Resort, celebrating the 4th of July at Walt Disney World. I've linked all the information to Woody's Roundup Barbecue Buffet in the description of this video, but it's only taking place 3 nights out of the entire year to celebrate the 4th of July. The tickets cost $149 per person, but you and I both know Disney will have no problem selling those. Why is that? Because there are enough guests who want to experience the 4th of July at Walt Disney World in a new way, and there are plenty of guests who don't mind paying just a little bit extra to get away from the crowds. I believe another reason why Disney creates more and more of these special events at Walt Disney World is to test guest reactions. We can see a recent example of this with the early morning magic and after hours magic at different Disney parks. After hours events at Walt Disney World were introduced by the Disney Parks blog on March 23, 2016. It started with just 7 days in April and May, and Disney wanted to see if guests would find this extra time useful and worth the extra expense. It was so successful for Disney that they expanded the number of days that the after hours events were happening at Walt Disney World. They brought it to Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and there's a brand new one coming to the Magic Kingdom with a villain theme. Sometimes these super limited time engagements are great for the long term because Disney sees how successful it is, how many guests really like it, and they expand the program, and in this situation they actually lowered the price. Last but not least, if Disney has a special event that's only running for a week or maybe 2 days or maybe just 1 day, who attends these events? Well, if you're lucky, your trip will coincide with one of these events so that you can go and experience something special at Walt Disney World, but more often than not, a lot of these events are really well suited for Florida residents. If you live 30 minutes or an hour or maybe even 2 hours away from the parks, you may say to yourself, you know what, I want to go back to Walt Disney World, but I'll wait till the future, maybe Flower and Garden or Food and Wine, something like that. And then Disney has something special like this. You would probably be motivated to go back to the parks sooner rather than later, and that's what Disney wants. As we see a special event grow into its second, third, and fourth year, we see more and more non-residents attending. But for that first year, we see a lot of Florida residents. And that's not a bad thing. Disney sees this and they understand it too. And the non-residents, they're saying, okay, something new at Disney, I'm gonna stand back here, I'm gonna look at it. They see the pictures, they say, you know what, that does look really interesting. And then they start to make their trip around this special event. And that is exactly what Disney wants. Now, this all sounds positive, but the bigger question that I want to ask today, do we have enough of these special events? And is there a point where we have so many of these special events, none of us can keep track of it anymore? We start to lose track, either after hours, early morning, what's going on with Mickey's Not So Scary, is there villains tonight? You start to lose track, it all starts to get crumpled together, and then we can't remember any of them. I feel like when we go on a Disney adventure together, have a great time, I come back, make the vlogs, by the time I finish with the vlogs, there's another new event, and I can hardly keep up with it myself. Maybe I'm just alone here, I don't know, but I feel like as long as Disney keeps track of our schedules and knows that guests have the morning, afternoon, and evening, and maybe gives us 1 or 2 options in the morning, 1 or 2 in the middle of the day, and 1 or 2 in the evening, that's okay. Any more than that, I'm just gonna start losing track of what I can do at Disney during the day. Those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Do you feel like the more activities, the better, and you want as many as possible because then there's always something new to see? Or are you like me and you feel like you're already starting to lose track of all of the different special events happening at Walt Disney World? Let me know in the comments below and in the poll right there. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.